Hello, I'm Daniel, and welcome to the Emunah Project. We here at the Emunah Project are continuing in our series of videos with respect to inspiration, education, guidance, advice. And I spoke in a previous video about how children learn oftentimes by observation. Parents can sometimes lead a good example or an adverse example by how they act. And I was reminded of the verse in Genesis, chapter 5, verse 1. Ze Sefer Toldos Adam. This is the account of the descendants and generations of Adam. Literally, this is the book of the generations of Adam. And the observation is sometimes made that a family is like a book. The parents are the cover, the children are the pages. If the cover is one way, the pages follow. If the cover is another way, the pages will often go another way. Parents, descendants, they're all bound in a single book, a single volume. We're all one book. It's inseparable. So if the children act inappropriately, it behooves the parents to be introspective, because these kids didn't grow up in a vacuum. We have to look at what's influencing them, including ourselves. This doesn't mean every situation is the same. Anyone with kids knows that it isn't. External environment absolutely plays a crucial role in the development of a child. Their friends, their school, their neighborhood. But if the child is behaving in a way that is not becoming or befitting for a religious person, a Torah Jew, a Noahide, we can look to ourselves to see what are we teaching. For example, if the parent, look to the parent. Is the parent acting in such a way that the child is picking up bad habits? If the parent is acting inappropriately, is it being reflected in the child? A lot of times when parents see any slight change in the child's behavior, see the child is perhaps responding to bad friends, a bad environment, a bad peer group, whether it's school, at play, a parent should act decisively, nip it in the bud. Don't wait for tragedy to occur. If you care about your children's education, don't just leave it to the school. Try to instill proper values in the children. Don't leave it to the neighborhood kids to teach your kid what's going on. Don't leave it to the street. That's something the child should be learning at home, either directly or by observing the parents. A lot of parents, if they see the child in a bad environment, a bad neighborhood, for example, is just not appropriate in certain circumstances, the parents will leave. They'll move. This is not a place for my kids. Living, for example, in the inner part of a city, fine for when you're single. Probably okay for when you're newly married. Once your kids start appearing, once they're in the picture, you realize, you know what? This is not a place where I want to raise my children. You move. You leave. You take the children out of the environment, because this is going to affect their lives. You have to be vigilant, ceaseless vigilance, especially for the influence of what's better known as the street. Sometimes we don't realize the effect of the environment, and I'm also talking about a cultural environment. television, that sort of thing, movies. We don't realize that the effect that it has on our children and us until it's too late. We have to always be looking out. It is our responsibility as parents to instill the proper values in our children, to raise them up to be proper religious kids with a good view, a good attitude of God and what God expects us to be. We're going to be doing more videos along these lines. Please come back. Please watch. Please learn. I hope you're finding some inspiration in these videos. And until next time, on behalf of the Emunah Project, I'm Daniel, and thank you too much.